Excuse me, sir. Sir, is this your G-Wagon?
Yeah.
How did you get rich, man?
I recognize you. I know your stuff from the internet.
What'd you do, man?
I worked in the entertainment industry for a long time and invested in entrepreneurs.
What's your name?
Scooter Braun.
And what was the most amount of money you made in a single year?
I sold my company years ago. You want to know how much? I've seen you do this before.
Yeah.
You like
How much did you sell your company
I sold
for?
the company for over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I go all over the world interviewing billionaires. You see the channel before.
I have seen it. That's
Yeah.
why I'm so uncomfortable right now, but I appreciate what you do.
Can I interview you for a minute real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
How long have you been an entrepreneur?
Since I was a kid, always trying to figure out a way to not be dependent. But I started the company when I was 19 in college.
What was that defining moment in your life where you had that mindset shift where you're like, man, I'm going to go out there, make a name for myself, and become one of the biggest in the entertainment space that it's ever seen?
For me, I was really, really young when I started, so I was probably too dumb and too ignorant to know that you probably shouldn't be able to do this. I think it was that blind belief. I saw someone do an interview recently and they said that really great entrepreneurs are delusional. And I definitely was probably a little delusional. I was younger that you can go and do this. And I think nothing great ever came from realistic ideas. Only great things come from being unrealistic.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, when I was first starting, everyone thought I was killing it, but really every time I'd make money, I'd spend it, to kind of fake it to make it. And I remember ordering Domino's pizza and realizing I did not have enough cash to pay. And I had like this change jar that me and my roommates had by the door, and I had to open it up and pay for Domino's with change. And I never forgot that because I always say success and failure really live next door to each other, like really live next door. And whenever you think it's going to fall apart, that's when you got to go that extra mile so that you find out success is right there.
What year was that you couldn't afford pizza?
Probably 23 years old. I'm 44 now, so 21 years ago.
20 years ago, would you have any idea then that you would end up selling a company for over $1 billion?
You know what's really funny? When I first started, I wanted to, do that. I wanted to achieve that $1 billion. And then I realized making 10 grand was really hard. And I went and spoke to a guy in Atlanta that I really admired, and he gave me a number of 10 million of like, that's what it would take to have his lifestyle. And that was my goal. I was like, I want 10 million. I want to have a beautiful family. I want to have kids. And, my life changed. And I remember when I passed that number, I felt like, what is it all for? It felt empty. And then my pops gave me some really good advice. He said, well, what do you love to do? And I said, I love being with my friends. I love giving away tickets. I love, talking to a random entrepreneur and helping them. I love the adventure of life. And he goes, well, I think money could be a way to make you, burdensome and you could be tied up by it, or money could be something that sets you free to do all of those things more and more in your life.
So you are now the 44th billionaire that I've interviewed. Are you happy now?
I think life is ebbs and flows, and there's days where you're really, really happy and there's days where you're sad. And everybody, whether you have $10 or $1 billion or someone who has $100 billion, everyone's having a human experience. And what I've seen from people that have a lot more money than me, who I've become friends with, they at times can feel very, very empty. And I think you don't need $200 billion to start the work of going inside yourself and figuring out who you are. So if you want a tip, if you want a cheat code for the end game of success, start doing work on yourself now and start seeing who you are and valuing yourself. And that's going to be a lot more important than making any amount of money.
Now, you were in the entertainment business for decades. For the people that don't know, what was your business like? What business made you the most amount of money throughout your career?
We built a record label, we built a publishing company, we built a TV and film production company. For me, I never wanted to be defined by one industry. I wanted to be defined as an entrepreneur. And that to me is just living an adventure every single day.
Did you have people that doubted you in the business world?
Yeah, of course. I was a knucklehead 19-year-old kid from Atlanta, Georgia, who's coming up in the hip-hop industry and throwing parties. Everyone was like, what the hell is he talking about? He's going to build this and build that.
I'm assuming you had people that thought you were crazy.
Yeah, they thought I was nuts. But every great entrepreneur I've ever met has that story. Like I said in the beginning, if it was realistic, it wouldn't be great. It has to be delusional. It has to be unrealistic. It has to be something. It's this idea that if you are playing baseball, if the Cy Young Award winner was pitching and everyone got to get in line and try and hit that ball, you could take as many swings as you want. And the winner, if you hit it out of the park, you get $1 million. It's the person who shuts everyone out, who keeps swinging, and everyone's saying, you're a bum, you don't have it, who just keeps swinging until they hit that home run. The person who shuts out the noise, that's the person who becomes the great entrepreneur.
I want to shift real quick to investing. You've invested in some of the biggest companies in the world early on. Right. What's the number one thing that you look for in a business when you're making an investment into them?
I try to see if the entrepreneurs burn the ships. It's never about what the business is for me.
You said burn the ships?
Burn the ships. It's never about the business. Like everyone else wants to look at data and everything. For me personally, I just like to look at the eyes of the founder and how psychotic are they? Like how crazy are they? How driven are they? Will they burn the ships? Will they shut out the noise? And I've seen that before. I've seen it, Travis from Uber, he had that. Daniel Ek from Spotify, he had that. Like there are certain people that are so driven and determined that you look them in the eye and you're like, they're going to find a way.
I love that, man. You got amazing advice. And I connect with all the billionaires I interview. Could I get your contact?
Yeah, of course.